you know, teaching a class at community college. It was a non-credit, like, you know, non-matriculated class. So you can just propose a class and have the credits, and then if enough people sign up, then the class moves forward. So I taught that. I did a million things in Gainesville, Florida, but weird things kept happening because there's, for some reason, a bubble of people, and you can have these people in every community. They could be activated, like, oh, we have a target in your area, and they do setups. Like, all they learned are setups. It's like kind of retarded. Like, you would have to have sort of a 7th grade mentality or lower to want to participate, because it's all about extreme control. It's about desperately wanting power over others. It's kind of like bad. It would be like a 7th grade horror show, sort of like Terror Behind the Walls at Eastern State Penitentiary, and how immature that is. Like, but it'd be like that, but you're doing it in your own house. So people have to be willing to want to be part of setups for some reason. They don't really gain that much, is what I found over the course of 15-20 years. It's like they don't gain that much. Some, like, it's regular life paths, and they're not really gaining. So anyway, my point being, when I was in Gainesville, Florida, it was ugly. Like, it was really bad, and it's a thing where it's like you can't explain it to your parents because they wouldn't totally buy it. You know what I mean? It traps people, because it's like, if you only knew how bad this was, you would, you know, want me to just stay inside and try to figure out, like, calmly, safely, not worry, and try to figure out how to earn a living from home somehow, you know. And if people had enough money, they would just say, just stay here and don't even worry. So, but that was not the case. Anyway, I wound up actually responding to recruiter calls. Like, they recruited heavily for trucking. So anyway, long story short, wound up in Salt Lake City, went through truck school. It's a whole, oh, what a wreckage. You know, I actually have it on my license, my Florida license, so I can prove that I passed. You have to pass tests before you even get in. So you have to go to DMV, pass a bunch of tests. If you are super sophisticated, you would know the tests aren't worded perfectly for someone who's very accurate. So you would have to have a mindset and know what they're talking about. Because, like, technically, there's 2 answers to this question, and they're not perfect, but whatever. So, you know, it's kind of a pain. You have to sort of study before you even go. And I passed both, you know, the driving and the written, but it was also bizarre. I had a driver instructor in the beginning who was putting on a show. It's hard to explain, because it's like, is this like, are we on candid camera, or is this the Twilight Zone? Because that is messed up. CR England. Oops, Sweat Fitness got a little, oh, Sweat left. There's like the thing is, there's a boxing glove just inside. So someone either put that in there on purpose, or so anyway, I have that on my license. I will keep the license forever, just to prove that I actually have a CDL Class A on my license. And the pandemic started, and trying to find a trainer that was female, I was almost going to go with another person and a male trainer, but they were smoking when they're not supposed to, and it was a whole thing, and I needed to get out of there quick. So there is a weird thing where wherever I go, it seems like there are actually people who try to scare the living daylights out of me. In fact, in 2011, which I talk about, you know, in a lot of my videos, that was a major. We are talking, I thought I was going to be killed in my apartment. And I mean for reals. So they will continue, and I'm wondering, you know, how complicit this goes, how high up, like even into the justice system, how many cops are complicit, how many people in law are complicit, how many people would cover up the truth, you know, that, you know, So very quietly, while walking dogs no less, I got an MFA, even though that's a whole issue of class action suit and everything for the tuition, and wrote a book and 2 collections of essays based on this experience. But it's like re-traumatizing, because it's like bringing stuff up all over again. And I'm wondering if I've been surrounded since 1972 or 73 by a large faction of people who feel like they get ahead by keeping you down. You know, maybe a divorce situation does that and they want to get rid of the biologicals, you see. Let's just swipe aside the biologicals while my kids get everything. Then a whole bunch of people jump in on it, believing they're doing something for their own people. You know, maybe it's religion, you know, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And we have 10,000 different groups jumping in on a targeted situation. Some of those groups would see themselves as enemies of each other. Are we turning our way? I'll go this way. Where's the big city? Are we going now? Trying to decide if I get extra exercise in this morning or what? Predicament in these days. Thank God there are people, you know, who kind of barely, you know, keep me going here in Philadelphia with work. And it's almost like this is healing time as best as one can. And settle down and go on from there later. It's almost like save your life time period. And then depending on what kind of administration is in office, you know, what can people do? You know, what's the best action to take based on everyone's behaviors and attitudes and stuff like that. So it's more about hiding. Okay, you feel like the whole house. And I'm not Jewish or anything, so I figure. I have shoes coming in today. For 4 years I've been wearing my Keen Presidios. I put shoe goo on them to cover up holes, but in the long run that did not work because it pulled the leather away from the rubber portions. The leather had gotten hard over 4 years of walking in the, you know, I used them like almost 90% of the time. So, except for in the summer when it was really hot, I would use Crocs or whatever with socks.